Alright, hey everybody, Perrin Lovett here for Prepper Post News on Tuesday, February 2nd, 2021. I just had to delete pretty much an entire recorded episode because I started telling the truth about some things, and that's just not allowed by our benevolent betters here at places like YouTube. Hello everybody at YouTube, corporate included. Hello everybody at the community and everybody listening to the podcast. It's been one of those mornings, but let's just go ahead and talk about it because it's been one of those half centuries in the fading remains of America. Nothing ever changes, but everything changes. I got some immigration news all over the mainstream news. Just beware that every time this subject comes up, all we get are lies. In 1965, we got lies. In 1986, thank you, Reagan, we got more lies. We got lies in 06, 08, 11, 12, and now we're getting lies. Joey B., our great 46th president of the United States, Joe Biden, he's going to legalize, give an amnesty and legalize 11 million illegal aliens. I have a feeling it's going to happen. It's been in the works. Liberal Democrats like Lindsey Graham, Lispy Graham have been suspiciously swishily pushing this. People like, liberal Democrats with names like Bush have been pushing it. It hasn't flown yet. I think it will, and probably this year. So 11 million new Democrat voters coming in to help us. Just like in 1986, we had the ultra-liberal Democrat actor Ronald Reagan, who granted amnesty to 3 million illegal aliens. And the lie then was, well, one, that we had to do that rather than deporting them, as we should have. The next biggest lie was that it was only going to happen that one time. It's over. Some of you remember this. You were alive and cognizant in 1986. I remember. Just it's a one-time thing. Never happen again until it does, and it's 3.5 times worse, and it's going to get worse than that because sensing this new change back to the old ways with immigration, more people. If you subsidize something, you're going to get more of it. So if you're let criminals in, and then you allow them to stay and in fact make quote unquote paperwork citizens out of them, it's going to encourage more people to come for the same reasons. And you've got that. They're piling up on the southern border in Mexico. Got a Reuters story about that. They're going to make it in too, I think. At some point we may run out of room for all these folks. But anyway, for now, President Joseph R. Biden is telling everybody to be patient. Not you. He doesn't care about you, but the people who are waiting to get in illegally. He wants them to be patient because he's going to find a way to get them in and registered to vote Democrat as soon as humanly possible. I got some more related stories. This is, I think this is where I lost it. Yeah, this is where I lost it before. I really got to tone it down. Okay. Donald Trump was fairly pro-life when he was the 45th president. He's gone now. He was voted out. And now he's standing up for his second removal trial in the Senate for his second impeachment, despite the fact that he's already out of office. But he did a lot for the pro-life movement. But then again, he didn't really slow down the killings, which has been the linchpin failing of the conservative movement. Got to calm down. All these years, it just can't stop the killing. The babies keep dying. Well, but I guess they did slow it a little bit under Trump. Joe Biden, number 46, wants to crank it back up again. And he's got a plan. I've got that linked up in Politico. He wants maybe all the children. I guess he wants a few so he can sniff them. Watch it. But kill as many as he possibly can. That must please his master in hell to no end. Satan is not that pleased, however, with the good people of Poland, and that's why he's sending all of his globo-homo harpies to attack the Poles. And when that fight really breaks open, that's going to be interesting, because those people, unlike Americans, those people will fight and win. They just don't allow abortion anymore. They had it banned forever. There was a little bit of this, liberal democracy garbage, Enlightenment, Luciferianism that crept in. It got parts of, some abortions were legalized, and they said, wait a minute, what are we doing? No, cut it all off. And now they've had 2 Supreme Court cases in a row reiterating that this is what the people want. They want children to live for some odd reason. That makes the devil most angry. And you can see that. You can see the demonic possession. If you look at these, then it's not worth looking at, but there are plenty of videos and pictures of these paid protesters, usually brought in from places like Germany, protesting in Poland. You can see the demon possession on their faces. So that led me, all this stuff goes together. I found this article that Miss Barnhart wrote about, who does God bless? And who does God punish? And there's quite the argument to be made that people who keep his word, like the Poles, continue to receive his blessing, whereas people, like the USians, since 1973, killing babies, get cursed. And it's kind of undeniable. We are, if this is the wrath of God coming down on America, do we deserve it? She thinks so. I've got, at freedomprepper.com, I've got this linked up with some interesting quotes about the difference between, decent people and what's become of America. And she points out that in the Old Testament, whenever God bailed out Israel, it was because Israel repented and turned back to God. Never, not one time, did God relieve the suffering of an unrepentant Israel. So, and then she goes on into, well, how repentant is America as a whole? We're not at all. She always finds these pop songs, rap songs, or whatever, that match the culture perfectly. And this one she puts a warning label on because this is a new level of degeneracy aimed at kids. The kids they don't kill, they want to wreck. They want to steal their souls away. And any people that allow that to happen probably deserve what they're going to get. However, if you are a good, decent, true, honest American, and I'm talking directly to our audience, you're the problem. They see you as the problem. That's why, as we discussed at the community last week, I forgot to put it in, DHS issued a warning alert about homegrown terrorism. Now, there's all kind of homegrown terrorism, but people like Joe Biden and all the rest of the usual suspects are making it clear that means normal heritage Americans. And so we're worse, in the words of one of them, we're worse than ISIS or Al-Qaeda. And we don't have many people batting for us. Tulsi Gabbard keeps coming in, and she points out that, hey, no, real Americans are not the problem. They're not the terrorist. People accusing them are the terrorist. So, Tulsi, we love you. Maybe watch out. I think they'd leave her alone. That would increase their problems dramatically to Scalia her. But it's interesting that she's I guess a Polynesian woman. She's from Hawaii, and she's standing up for us. And today, the number one target, you can cut it several different ways, but it's white people and it's Christians. If you're a white Christian, you're the primary target. And once they're done with all of us, then I guess they move on. My guess would be Asians would be next. In fact, you're already being lumped in as honorary whites. So, and then they'll just keep making their way down, because they hate everybody. They really do. But we're getting the brunt of it all over the place, including education. American Thinker had this shocking revelation that they brought the cultural Marxism. I might have talked about this already. I'm going to assume that I have. It's everywhere. It's especially in the schools. No, I talked about, there's so many of these stories, I get them mixed up. Last week I talked to you about the indoctrination of teachers. Now it's about the curriculum that's being put together by all these communists and Satanists. The solution, which goes to my final word a little bit later, is homeschooling. Just get out of the broken system. Get out. Get out, or you keep dealing with the same things over and over, because the more things change in this country, the more they stay the same. if you just arrived in America, you may not know that we have a pandemic underway because of the SARS-2 coronavirus 2019 viral pandemic. However, as bad as that has been, Super COVID is here, and Super COVID is coming in from all over the place. We've got the UK version, the South African version. I think there's the Klingon version. All these variants of the virus are coming in, and they're much worse. They are much. I mean, as bad as it's been, it's going to get a whole lot worse. I guess the only thing that you can do is you better wear 3 masks now. 1 mask is not enough. You need to wear 3. And take the vaccine. Oh, no. Now, actually, they're finding, I've got another story here. They're finding that the superbug, I'm sure they have identified and isolated it too, the way they did the original. It's learning. The virus is learning. I guess it goes to these cultural Marxist schools. It's learning to beat the vaccine. So I assume they're working on a boost for the vaccine. I'm sure Tony Fauci will be announcing that later. I know that Merck is working on a vaccine for the vaccine for all the side effects. They're going to, he probably won't mention that, but the point is they want to keep it going forever. There's a lot of money to be made and a lot of control to be exercised. This is the same way they want to keep the fake money going in the economy. Here we have a Yahoo Finance story about the good old Federal Reserve. Because of the pandemic, what the virus did, they just got to keep bailing out Wall Street. Just got to keep bailing out the commercial banks. Apparently forever. So wear your triple mask, watch your money, the value of your money evaporate. It's only going to last as long as you do. So, don't worry. It'll be over. Some of you might only have 20 or 30 or 50 years of this. Unless something super intervenes. Let's see here. Now, for those of us who are living in these crazy times, they don't want you to get out and live. And if you do, you can walk around your house, but they don't want you to travel anywhere. If you do travel, then you've got to, you have to wear the mask. Big government they've infringed the First Amendment. They have mandated the wearing of a religious face mask for travel. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, they put the P in there, issued a sweeping order late Friday that mandates the use of masks on airplanes and other public transportation as the USSA seeks to contain the spread of COVID-19, and I would assume the superbugs as well. The order, which goes into effect, that went into effect last night, just before midnight, crawling around like vampires in the dark, mandates the use of religious face burqas at places such as bus terminals, airports, train stations, and subway stops, as well as in taxis and while using ride-hailing services. Oh, and also bank robbers are advised to wear masks as well. And that, where do they get the authority from? It's right there in the 0th Amendment. It's right after abortion and right before gun control in Amendment 0 to the Constitution. Gives them the right to order you around like this, override your First Amendment right not to have their religion of insanity pushed on you. I guess we're all Coviets now. Wear the burqa. Except I'm not going to. I don't use public transportation. And if you do, though, you better play along, or these airlines and bus people or train people, Amtrak, will just kick you off. And if you don't go, there's criminal teeth behind this sweeping order that, by the way, was not your congressman, your senator, had nothing to do with this. There was no vote on it. There was no democracy. Just a signing, and here it is. Do what they say. There's a pin. They have a pin, and then they have some men with machine guns behind them. So that's your democracy for the day. Get away from it everywhere you can. Mental secession. Go ahead and check out of this insanity. Live a good, decent life. A lot of you, I know, either used to homeschool or you're homeschooling now. You're thinking about homeschooling, and you're not alone. My final story is another Wall Street Journal article about, I think they find some folks in North Carolina, but it's nationwide. As everything is breaking down, including the schools, more and more parents are waking up and saying, "What's the point? Why do we send our kids? First of all, why do you send your kids to these satanic indoctrination camps anyway?" But they can't even run their funny business right now. They can't. A lot of them can't even open because the teachers don't want to work. So everybody's starting to homeschool. Now it's not everybody. It's probably 2 to 5% of American school children get a good education at home. And now the number is slowly starting to grow. I had high hopes that this terrible pandemic would finish off public education in this country. Maybe the superbug can do that for us. If not, it's up to you. Do what you can. Don't travel by commercial means. Don't wear your Coviet burqa unless you are Coviet. I mean, I'm not telling you what to do. It's time to just go back to the way things were, to decency. So let homeschooling be part of that. I'll try to be back tomorrow, which is Wednesday. Not filming this 3 or 4 times, getting irate, and we'll have a good time. Hope you have a great Tuesday, and stay safe out there, everybody. God bless.